Hey everybody, welcome back to Morning Talks with Mike. I'm Big Mike,
And I'm here.
and that is my red coat partner, Paul Honeyman.
I never wore a red coat.
Really?
Nope. Oh, mine was always green.
Green. All right. So, hey guys, today we're going to be talking about vacations. If you've seen the thumbnail, that is Sardis Lake on the thumbnail, and that's where Terrie and I are going on the 24th, 25th, and 26th. Our maiden voyage with our new travel trailer. We're going to Sardis Lake and spending the weekend there. We're taking the dogs with us, so I guess it's not really a getaway because we still got to work. Still got to take care of the dogs. Still got to do the cooking and all this other stuff, but it's a chance to get away from the homestead, just Terrie and I, the dogs, and have a good time, do a little fishing. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good time. But then I started thinking,
Look out, Jerry.
when was the last time I actually went on a vacation where you do absolutely nothing? Okay. You wake up, the people come in and they make your beds, and you just go and eat and have fun and not worry about anything.
That sounds like Memphis.
Well, kind of sort of Memphis, but we did some filming and we did this. I mean, going somewhere just to put years back on your life and relax. So I thought about it, and it was when we were in Korea. We used to go on vacation, or in Paul's case, holiday, and every Thanksgiving, because we didn't have family over there or anything like that. So we'd plan a trip, and we went to Rome one Thanksgiving. We went to Thailand. We went to the Philippines. We went to Taiwan. We went to Australia. We went to Guam. Every year we would go somewhere and just enjoy each other's company and do something for us. So, and I would say the one trip, the sightseeing in Rome and the sightseeing in Thailand, if it wasn't so freaking hot in Thailand, I would have had a great time. But it was like I was going to pass out every freaking day from heat exhaustion or heat stroke. And Terrie was the same way. But we had a great driver. He would pick us up. He would take us to all the sites that normal people didn't see. We went to the Lane Buddhas. We did a cruise down the river in Thailand and Bangkok, and it was nice if it wasn't so freaking hot. But I will tell you, as far as the weather, Rome was beautiful when we went to Rome. The weather was perfect down there on the Mediterranean area. When we went to Sydney, that's the starting of their summer. So it was getting pretty hot, but it was okay. But Guam, 82 degrees all year round. The west coast of Guam got a lot of wind and some pretty good waves coming in. And then it was like really calm over on the eastern side of Guam. But what a beautiful 34 miles around the island. And on one end is Anderson Air Force Base. That, if you remember, when they went to bomb Iran, they sent the decoy bombers to Guam. So they sent them to Anderson Air Force Base. Then on the other side, the opposite side of the island, is the Naval Port Guam. We went there. And it'd been a long time since I've seen battleships and aircraft carriers. And for some reason, we're just driving around. And next thing you know, we're right next to the port where all the ships come in. And I mean, you're looking up and it's like skyscrapers when you're down below. And then somebody says, "Hey, what are you guys doing in here?" I said, "We're just checking the place out." "How did you get past the security gate?" I said, "What security gate?" I said, "Which security?" We had to show our military IDs and stuff like that. And he's going, "Oh, crap." And so I guess the guy went to go to the bathroom. He left the gate open, so I just drove through it. And then I found out, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. You're not supposed to be next to the ships. That's a security violation and stuff like that. But so yeah, we really like that. But since we've been to the States, now we've gone on little trips. We've been to meetups and stuff like that. But what constitutes a vacation? In my mind, you just go have fun, not worry about anything, keep dishing out money, because everything costs something,
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, but I think overall, sightseeing wise, Thailand and Rome were probably our two best, just because of the history of it. It Australia was fun. We went to Sydney. We didn't get far outside of Sydney. We went to the zoo. We went to
Wrong zoo.
the what? I know everybody says that, but we weren't going to go across the country to go and see that Steve Irwin place. But we had a great time. I got to go to Bondi Beach. That's animals in itself on the beach. I mean,
Oh, yeah, they are.
you can't get an elbow in between all the scantily clad bodies on the beach and stuff like that. And then everybody's drinking.
And that's just the men.
I seen those lifeguards down in Australia, so busy. And if you ever see, you might be able to see it on the interwebs. It was called just called Bondi Beach Rescue, Bondi Beach Rescue.
Yeah.
So we got to watch those guys, and I seen this one guy. They pulled this one guy out of the ocean, and he never let go of his beer. And he was from India, and they were saying, "Can you even swim?" He goes, "I've never been in the ocean," and I'm going, and they have those undertows. And they will get you because the waves come in, then there's an undertow. And so you're out in the ocean trying to have fun, getting drunk, and can't even swim. So we did all that. And it was so much fun because your whole life, I think the thrill for traveling for us is that your whole life, you've learned about all these places around the world and stuff like that. And then when you're there, they actually look smaller than what you've built up in your head. The Colosseum was way smaller than what my head imagined it would be. Because, you watch Gladiator, the Colosseum is this gigantic, monstrous place. And it's really not. It's big, but it's not what my brain was thinking.
You mean you were getting your big head stuck in the corridors?
There you go. And it's always under construction. They're trying to restore it, and they've been doing that for umpteen years. I think that the one place that Terrie, and I really want to take her there one day, because I've been to Spain probably 7 times on holiday, on vacation. When I was in the military, we'd all get with MWR, Morale, Welfare, and Recreation, pay for a seat on the bus, and they would schedule our hotels and do everything for us. We just give them the money, and we would go down there every year because they had nude beaches down in Spain. Okay. And everybody, walking around carefree. We were on the Costa Brava, Lloret de Mar. That's where we always went. And then at nighttime, we'd go to the bullfights, and then they would have these posters and flyers where they were advertising some restaurant or bar or whatever or location where the bull that was killed in the arena, several days ago, that's where they were going to have the big thing, and you'd go there, you'd pay, and you can eat all you want and stuff like that. But watching the bullfights down in Spain was awesome. Going to the clubs and not really realizing how many famous people go to Spain for holiday.
Mhm.
It's like all of Europe is down there. And I went to this one bar. It's something, the White Elephant. And I went in there and I'm sitting in there and I'm looking over there, and there's George Michael and his sidekick from Wham. They're sitting at the little booth next to us. I'm going, holy crap, that's George Michael, the singer and stuff like that. And then later on, they were up on stage singing and stuff like that. And then they segregate the bars. And when we went down there, it was like we went in one bar and everybody was British. You know what I mean? You go into another one, they're all Germans. And the only thing that was different, other than the segregation of bars, they all had their favorite bars they'd go to, is the Americans that were in there. They let the Americans go in all the bars, and it was fun. A lot of fighting in the Irish bars. Man, I'm going to tell you something. You know what? If God didn't create alcohol, the Irish would have took over the world years ago. That's what a British guy told me once. But he goes, man, those guys get fired up hard. And then we went all over the place, and we were welcomed, and it was always sad to leave because you had so much fun. I wasn't married at the time. I did things like nobody's business down in Spain. But
so you were a regular down 10 Mark Alley?
No, I didn't do that. I woke up several times on the beach, robbed, didn't have no clothes or shoes. But it was, they had this one drink that I really kind of liked. It was like lemonade and vodka on ice, and I got addicted to those down there. And alcohol in the hot sun is not a good combination.
No.
I'd always come back. Like one time I woke up, it was like I woke up around 11 o'clock. I'm completely nude laying on the beach. Trust me, but back then I was in much better shape, and the whole front of me was sunburnt. I actually had to go to a doctor because the little soldier was sunburnt bad. But those to me are vacations, and I don't know what our plans are. I know we're really busy with YouTube and planning for the Mid-America that's coming up next year, Pinecone Fest, which is scrolling down on the bottom. But we enjoy that camaraderie, seeing other people with the same interest and stuff like that. So that's always fun. Okay, spending some time with some good people and people that we choose to be around. When you're on vacation, you don't know who you're going to meet. But I'm an extrovert. Terrie is more introverted when it comes to meeting people, and she just looks at me, and I just walk up to people and introduce myself and talk to people and stuff like that. Where Terrie needs to be engaged, and then she warms up. It's not that she's snooty or anything like that, but it's just the way she is, and it's just it's just fun for me to go on vacation and stuff like that. So, hey, before we get any further, let's say hello to the people in the chat. I know all our friends over in the Philippines, India, Turkey, Hong Kong, Germany, they all came in. There's Shirley De La Cruz. Welcome in. There's Linda Peterson. There's Abby G. There's Iram from Turkey's in here still. Paul Honeyman, of course. My co-host is here. There is Maria Garcia. Welcome in. Hardknack Farm. There's Wendy. Good to see you, Wendy. I was on her live the other day on Wednesday before our live. There's Tamara and David over at Heartland Headquarters with Dink and Dank. There's Jolynn. Welcome in. Jennifer Ocean. Homestead's here. There's Gurley Senna. Shane Raza. Leland Layla. RD Vlogs is here. There's Rebecca Touched by Yarn. Merns Pacquiao. Welcome in. Debbie Drach. Welcome in, Debbie. Now, who did you get birthday cards from? Oh, she left the room. Terry checked the mail the other day. We haven't checked it in a while. And she got a couple of birthday cards. Can't remember who she said she got the birthday cards from, but we appreciate that. Oh, that's normal, Big Mike. My son was like that here. Blue motorcycle. Okay. There's Eligio De La Cruz. He's in here. There's Terry. Welcome in.
Has Terry left the room?
She left the room.
Damn it, I had a question for her.
There's Miss Arlene. Welcome in. Karen Brest. Welcome in. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. We've got 16 people in here, and we welcome you guys in. And what I want to know is, what was your, and you can put it in the chat, your favorite vacation spot? And it could be a returning vacation. You might go on the same vacation every time you go, but what was your favorite vacation and where was it at? You can come up into the on the panel and tell us about your favorite vacation, or you can put it in the chat. I'm good with that also. There's John Goes Outdoors. Sweetie Ann Vlogs. Good to see you. And good morning to you, Burns. I see quite a few members are in here. I'm glad to see you guys. I'm glad you're members of the channel. We might be having a members only live coming up pretty soon. In fact, if we have good signal, we may do one at Sardis Lake when we go camping. We'll do a pop-up members only live. We'll let you know prior to it before we go live. So if you want to come in and show you the camping area that we're in. There's Glenn and Shannon Salty Life. Welcome in. There is Criselda. Hope I said that correctly.
That's the sort of vacation I've always wanted, Linda Peterson. Fishing, hunting, and eating for 2 weeks.
Six months in Arizona. All right. That's what Jennifer said. We watch YouTubes here. I hope that tiller is working for you guys and that mower. Karen Bress says Florida. Is it Bonta Springs between Naples and Fort Myers, Florida?
She's got my favorite name,
Who's that?
Karen Breast.
There you go. Yeah. You know, for me, Florida is a great place to visit. I don't know if I'd want to live there, but I've had fun every time I've been down to Florida. I've been to Orlando
Bowen's
several times. I've been to Miami once. I spent 2 days in Miami before we went down to Ecuador. The mower has a few issues. The tiller is working great. And the new eggs we picked up will be chicks in 5 more days. All right. Thank you very much for that update.
Bowen's just come in.
Bowen?
Yep.
Hello, Bowen. All right. Yeah, we watch YouTube. Yeah, check them guys out. Thank you, Wendy, for putting that up.
That's another thing I can't do when I'm on channel.
What's that?
That's another thing I can't do when I'm on channel. Links.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad the tiller's working out. I mean, like I said, they gave everything to me for free. If you can get it, if you can get that mower to work, I hope you do. Hey, there's Palmetto paratroopers in here, and there's our friend Lacey.
Good morning, cutie.
My 2 favorite bald eagles. These 2 bald eagles probably couldn't get off the ground though. Even if we had 15-foot wingspan. Yeah.
Nah, couldn't get my ass off the ground.
Yeah. And there is Jamie over at O'Rourke's Littlefield. Good to see you. Now, I think Mama V said she's going to come here and pick up the 2 tillers to make sure she's going to pick up hers and DD5's tiller. So she hasn't contacted me to let me know when she's going to come by. I do have to make a trip to Come On Mountain. I promised David that I would make the trip this time. I've got some fencing stuff that he's getting, T-post, wire, some H braces for the fence line that he wants to put up and stuff like that. So we also have a dog igloo for his dog that he wanted. And I don't know if I can get the dryer and the stove on there with all the fencing stuff that Mike at DD5 wanted. But we'll see what happens. And I'm glad they can use it because, I mean, it was here. We have extra, and anything we can do to help somebody else out. And it's the dryer it can work off of LP gas. So that helps them out over there at DD5. So, and anything we can do to help people is what we're all about.
You're going to trust Mike with LPG?
Well, he says he knows a lot about it. So now I would trust him probably more with that than the fear he gave me working around fireworks on the 4th of July over at Ridge Life. Yeah. I get a little nervous. Because when when you're not scared of anything, things usually happen. I always put, I don't put caution to the wind. I usually think things out before I actually, strike a match. And I don't think throwing a bucket of gas on some wood is a safe thing to do either before you light up a bunch of trees. And I've seen that happen.
I had a friend in the army. He wasn't very big. He was a small fella, and when I say small, he was 5'6". But he was as skinny as you can imagine a skeleton to be, and all he did was featherweight boxer.
Yeah.
But he was on Rippers, restriction of privileges.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get back to barracks in time.
Mm.
So they put him on Rippers, and while he was on that, it was time to get rid of the annual burning all the military stuff. It'd been raining for 3 days, and this dry day, this guard commander decided to be a clever bugger, and took him down to the Air Force, the Army Air Corps, and he got himself a bucket of aviation fuel. And he told
JP8. JP8.
Yeah. He put a candle in the bottom of his fire and told him to throw the aviation fuel on that. It literally hit the candle, came straight up the fire, blew the bucket out of his hand, and caused third-degree burns over 80% of his body.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The guard commander was demoted.
Wow. I knew a guy in Germany, and he was, I think he was a private first class, a PFC in the Army, and he worked aviation. And he was going somewhere, and he needed gas, didn't have any money, and he took a cherry can of gas and put it into his vehicle. And he didn't know it was JP8. I mean, he went down the road and it got so hot, it blew the whole sidewall out of his block of his motor. And of course, they had to, since it happened on the installation, of course, they had the safety investigators come out, and they had all kinds of people, and come to find out it was JP8 that he had in there. And so they got him for larceny of government property and all kinds of stuff. And they kicked him out of the military after he served his restriction and extra duty and paid his fine and all that stuff from his commander. But yeah, you don't want to put jet fuel inside your car. Bad things happen. And it's like my son Michael, he said, "Hey, Dad, can I borrow your flatbed and your trailer? This guy wants to get rid of these 2 mobile homes." And he said, if we strip them down, all the metal off of it and all the copper and all that stuff, we can haul it away and we can take it down to the salvage yard and we can make money off of it. I said, well, sure, go ahead and borrow it. I said, but just remember where the fuel tank is, the level, it better be the same when I get it back. He said, okay. So all of a sudden, it is like midnight, the phone rings. And I hear my son's voice. He goes, "Hey, Dad." And as soon as I hear that, I'm going, what is going on? Then I go, where's my truck and trailer? It's on the side of I-44. We kind of had a problem. And he goes, did you tell me that the truck is gas or diesel? I go, what did you do? He goes, well, I was filling it up. And apparently I must have grabbed the wrong nozzle and I filled the truck up full of gasoline. So on a diesel, it has a reservoir. And once it gets done with the reservoir, because it filters out the water and all that stuff out of the diesel, the gas got in there and I mean, tore up that motor. And I'm just like going, good Lord. And so I had to go out there with the other truck. I had to pick up my trailer. I knew nobody was going to steal the flatbed because it can't run. Half the motor's laying on the freaking freeway. So I go out there, then I tow the truck back in. And I'm just like, and I needed the flatbed more than I needed that old pickup truck, but they were both 1986. One was an 86. The other one was an 85 Ford F-350s. And
Ginger, stop!
I switched the motor out of the pickup truck into the flatbed because they're both that International Navstar 7.2 liter diesels. And then I sold the body of the truck. Someone came and bought it for like $1,200 or whatever. And so I got rid of that. But man, I'm going to tell you something. And then I see a video where this one lady, some fill station, some lady's trying to put gas in an electric car and stuff. I'm going, what's going on there?
Yeah.
You got to be some kind of stupid to try to do that. And she said, well, my other car is electric and it can run off gasoline. Well, this one doesn't. So she was trying to force it into that thing and she was looking at it. And I go, you got to be some kind of stupid to do something like that.
So how much did your son keep out of what he was making?
Well, he didn't keep none of it. What he made off that, he couldn't even pay to pull a motor out of a vehicle.
Yeah.
So I lived in Missouri, a little town called Lakeway, Missouri, and both my boys went to school at Lakeway, K through 12 school there, just a little country school. But I'm going to tell you something. Some good old boys live in Missouri, and I can attest to that because I put out a call on my for the Masons and for people on post, and they all came over and we pulled that motor. And between the lot of us, we had enough knowledge to pull the motor and put it in the other vehicle. Of course, it's the exact same transmission, everything. So we just had to take it apart, drop it in. And one guy was telling me, he goes, well, let's not take it off the transmission. Let's just pull the tranny and everything all at one time, which was absolutely the right call because they're both the same tranny, same rear ends, all that stuff. One was a flatbed, one was a pickup truck. So we got it pulled out and put back in 2 days. So, and it didn't cost me nothing except for beer and food. And well, yeah, it cost me a lot because we had quite a few people. Then it became a party at night. And then we couldn't get up in the next morning because we were all tore up from the floor up. But
Ginger Snap's in.
Hey, Camping Cage Freeze here.
Ginger Snap's here.
Ginger Snap. I didn't see her. Oh, there she is. This one, this side over here does not give me enough. There she is. And there's Camping Cage Free. Welcome in.
I had an engine blow up on me on my way home. Put the fire out, got my dad to come and tow me back to my place. Went to the scrapyard the following day, got an engine from there, swapped the two engines out and rebuilt the original. It only took me a weekend to swap them out.
Yeah.
It took me 6 months to rebuild the original.
Yeah.
And when I put it back in, it was better than when I bought it. But I've never worked on a V8.
Yeah. It's kind of like my Jeep here. I kept telling Terry, I said, "Oh, we need to buy a truck. We need to buy a truck if we're going to buy a travel trailer." But what I found out about the Jeep Grand Cherokee Overlander, it has a tow package with it. It comes with a 5.7 liter Hemi V8. It is geared for the towing package, and it can tow 7,200 pounds. Okay, so that's like what's there's 2,000 pounds to a ton, so it can 2.5 tons it can pull. So we looked around, and I said, I can't pull. I don't want to pull over this amount, and I set it at 6,000 pounds. That gives me 1,200 pounds leeway because you got to put stuff in your trailer and stuff like that. And we're not going to put 1,200 pounds worth of garbage and stuff inside the trailer. Anyway, we don't need it. So I said, I'm going to set it at this. So when we found this travel trailer, first thing I asked, and Terry fell in love with it, and he says it's 5,200 pound towing weight. I said, done. So the Jeep, the Jeep pulls it just smooth. And the brakes on the trailer work. Everything's working great for it. And so we're not in such a rush to buy a truck when we've got the Jeep and it tows it. I couldn't even feel it behind me. I mean, it just rode really nice. So we're not pushed to go in debt on a truck, because if you look at trucks nowadays, I mean, it's like a mortgage payment. I mean, the last time we bought a truck, I bought it for $54,000, and it was a Dodge Ram 3500 long bed, 4-door. And I mean, the payment on that truck was almost $1,200 a month.
Wow.
We don't want to get into that. But I mean, we had it down to paying it off in 5 years. We could have gone all the way out to 8 years, but why do that? Because we could afford it at the time. We'll say we'll pay this. And now we've said we're never, ever going to get into a situation where we buy a vehicle that is, which could pay for somebody's mortgage. You would love to have a new truck. Don't have to have a new truck. How many trucks? I mean, I'm seeing now more on Facebook and stuff like that, where the car industry is trying to sell all these unsold vehicles that are 2 and 3 years old that's never been bought. They keep them in these big lots, and I don't understand why. And then I found out when they build a new vehicle, and let's just take an F-150 pickup truck. Now you've got lots and lots of trucks in like old abandoned fields that the car company puts in there that never sold. So what their engineers do is they said, hey, we've got 6,000 F-150s out there. What we can do is when we build the new one, we'll use the exact same parts that these trucks do, and they pull them in to replenish their stock of parts that if you take yours in because your differential went out, well, they just order one and it's from one of them trucks that we're setting out in the lot because they're using the exact same differential, same alternators, same whatever. and that's how they replace them. And then people buy motors, so they just take those motors and say, here's the exact same motor, and you buy it that way. But I've seen now where they're actually putting them up for sale, and you can buy. I think Seth Watley over in Ada, Oklahoma, is part of that whole thing, and they can get you a rock bottom deal on a brand new truck. It may be like a 2019 or a 2020, but it's got like 0 miles on it. So
Yeah.
they're trying to get rid of all those vehicles because, I mean,
You know why they were off the road, though, don't you?
found on the road dead.
No, I'm serious. You know why they have them?
No,
Because COVID. When they went through COVID, they couldn't get certain parts from China.
oh, the chips and all that stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It
maybe
took
that's
6
why
months to get-
they're pushing to build that new chip factory in Virginia.
Yeah.
So they're not dependent on China for anything. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Now, will it cost you more? Sure. Because wages in America is a lot higher than over in China. Okay.
You mean you actually pay your labor? You don't get the old whip out.
No, we can't. We got to pay these guys. There's Terry.
Brittany's going to be here in about 5 minutes.
All right.
7 minutes.
Excited. And see, here's the great thing about Morning Talk with Mike. Wanted to talk about vacations. Now we're all about vehicles and stuff like that. So
It goes that way, and then it goes.
You were telling me earlier about your vacation to Canada.
Oh yeah,
And I told you I don't think that was a vacation, but you say
I said that was my perfect vacation.
and what were you doing in Canada?
I was walking across the Seven Peaks in Banff. That to me then was perfect.
Yeah.
All that scenery was beautiful. I went just before the Indian summer, and we caught the Indian summer while we were there. And it went from 6 foot of snow to nothing but green. I got to sit one morning having a cup of coffee, watching a bear on the other side of the valley, marking its territory and watching this bloody old great big pine tree swing. And when we got down there to see it, them bear claw marks were literally 9 feet off the ground. We got to see a snow leopard.
Yeah.
And we were just walking in its tracks behind it. It turned, looked at us, and just carried on plodding along.
There's Mac and Patty.
And then I went canoeing for a week.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in the military, anytime you could get away from your humdrum day in and day out life, because when I came in, the Cold War was going on, and you were just bored in garrison. You couldn't wait to go to the field and do training exercises to get out of that same old humdrum thing. But my favorite part was doing the military to military exchange training, and I got to go up by Dusseldorf, Germany, to be with the Brits, the UK Army up there. And what they did was, it was my platoon, me and my lieutenant. Our platoon went up there, and each one of the British officers, because British officers had, quarters with their families and stuff, enlisted didn't get to bring theirs unless you were like the sergeant major or something like that. And then they would sponsor one of the U.S. military guys. We lived at their house. We did everything that they did. They took us around. We got to train on all their weapon systems, drive all their vehicles, learn about all their equipment. And the thought behind that process was, if you do go to war, we knew the Brits we're side by side. Okay. We're side by side no matter what we do in the world, even today. And so if you're in combat and all of a sudden you see a British vehicle, you see a British weapon system, you can pick it up, you can use it instead of just walking by and saying, hey, I don't know how to operate that thing. And we did the same thing with the German army. And then there were some people when I was stationed in Italy with the 14th MP company, we trained with the Italian army doing the exact same thing. And it just broadens your knowledge of, especially if something, we call it shit hitting the fan, that you can work side by side with your counterparts from other countries and stuff like that.
I'm so sorry she had to deal with that, Wendy. Scum.
I guess I'm not down that far. Woke up to rain this morning. Oh, wow.
Yes, you missed her coming in, and you missed.
No, I said hello to Wanda earlier. But if you haven't, one of my favorite videos that Wanda does is when she travels around where she lives. What a beautiful place! Oh my Lord, that would be a good vacation for me, is to go up there where she lives up in Canada.
Did you say hello to Southern Blessed?
I did. Oh, wow. I'd retired from the car business over 40 years, and I have seen the pricing over the years just get ridiculous. It is crazy. And and this is just Big Mike talking. I am not a fan of unions. At one time in America's history, unions were needed because there were no OSHAs, there was no safety in the workplace, and unions brought those issues to the forefront, and it was good to be inside of a union. But do we need unions now? Do we need to have somebody assembling the same part day in and day out, making $40, $50, $60 an hour, which that boosts up the cost of everything? The labor is usually the highest part of doing any kind of business. I know I did the budget for all those years as a government civilian. When you've got hundreds of people working for you, labor is crazy. And I just don't know that unions are needed per se. Oklahoma is a right to work state, and you can't be forced into anything in the state of Oklahoma, because in a lot of places, like when you get a job somewhere, at least your first year or whatever, there's whatever your bylaws are in your union contract, that's the management to the union. There's a certain period that you have to be part of the union. You have to pay dues. And then when you get to a certain year or whatever, I know in the government, you can say, okay, I don't want to be part of the union. But with the government union, civilian workers union, even if you're not part of the union, if, like, say there's talk of you being fired, the union has to step in and help you anyway. So I don't know how the auto workers union works or the Teamsters work and all that stuff, but I do know that their wages are a lot higher than if you worked at some other plant where there was no union. Now, management can't stop a union from forming, but if you live in a state where it's a right to work state, okay, then you got fight back on stuff like that. So I don't know how the auto workers, but I do know that the prices are out of control. Because you buy a pickup for $100,000. First of all, if you've got the money, more power to you, you know. But for the average Joe, 54 to $80,000 for a vehicle, you know, I go down the road and I see a trailer on the side of the road in somebody's yard, and out front is an $80,000 pickup truck, and it costs more than that place where they live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. Hey, there's Pretty. There's Paul.
Hello, beautiful.
Hey.
I've seen your picture with them legs out.
So she just got in from Waco. She's just making a pit stop here. That's all I can say.
You know why?
He said, "Don't say nothing."
You know why the car business likes to use the word ridiculous?
Why?
It's full of dicks.
It's called what?
You know why the car business likes to use the word ridiculous? It's because it's full of dicks.
There you go. Yeah, I like cars without chips. Yeah, I remember when you could buy a car. Okay,
Charlene Grady's coming.
I bought a 1970 Roadrunner, and I could get inside, take the hood off, and I could stand inside the engine compartment with a leg on each side of the motor and work on the vehicle. Now you couldn't get a straw through an engine because they got so much crap on it that, I mean, you as a normal, let's say you're very knowledgeable on cars and stuff like that, but now you can't work on a car without a computer.
I can't work on the new cars.
You know, it's ridiculous. It's redonkulous. But you know,
I prefer working on cars before electric fuel ignition.
yeah, young people are in trouble with the pricing. Yeah, getting a car, you're going to see more junkers driving down the road, and that's what you get because people just can't afford them.
Do you know what? You can't buy parts. These days, you cannot go to a scrapyard because there's so many getting taken down.
Yeah.
For the environment.
Yeah.
Which is a load of crap. What's better for you than the environment and you reusing something?
Oh, wow. Best vacation was Montec.
I think that's supposed to be Montreal.
No, North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina.
July 4th, 1976 for the centennial celebration. I remember when the bicentennial came up when I was living in Mesa, Arizona. And that was we thought that was, that was the biggest parade we've ever seen in Mesa.
I don't know which one for which for that. So, and then
Yeah, that's true. People getting over their head in debt. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you could sit there and buy a brand new pickup truck, and let's do an average cost $70,000 for a brand new pickup truck, and you put $2,000 down. That $2,000 down probably brought your payment down probably brought your payment down by $25. That's it.
That's
No
disgusting.
more, than that. And people, the good thing about buying new is the warranty that comes with the car. And you get like however many months or how many thousand miles. Now, we bought a Hyundai before we went to Germany. And the Hyundai was 10 years, 100,000 mile warranty, bumper to bumper. You can't get a better warranty than that. And as soon as, we bought it, we had to sell the truck because they wouldn't let us ship the truck. It was way too big to operate in Korea because their country's made for small cars, right? And you couldn't even get it into our parking garage because it was so tall. So we traded it in. We bought a Hyundai. We got the 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty on it. And we drove it over there. I don't know how many thousands of miles we put on that car in 5 years. And then we sold it. And we bought it for $21,000 in 2015. Yeah, 2015. We bought it for $21,000. And then we sold it. It was a 5-speed. It was a Hyundai Veloster. More leg room in it than Terrie's BMW. And we drove the crap out of that little 4-cylinder, getting 46 miles to the gallon, 5-speed turbo. And we had a great time in Korea in that thing. And then we sold it. And we sold it for like $12,500 to some guy. And because that's what the payoff was when we were getting ready to leave Korea. It was like $12,000. And then we just gave it to the bank, paid it off, and we were good to go. And then we bought vehicles when we got back to the States. Actually, we bought the Jeep over in Korea through the exchange over there. And we didn't have to pay no taxes or anything like that. Plus, the Army, since we shipped a car over, they shipped a car back for us for free. And then when we got back, we had the orders bringing us back to the States. And then Oklahoma waived the whole tax on it because it was on government orders and stuff. But I'm going to tell you something. You don't find that very often. But back then in 2015, we couldn't pass up the deal. It was crazy good. But yeah, we enjoyed that. And I'm going to tell you something. Hyundai makes a very, very good car.
Yeah,
They do. Yeah. But I think now Hyundai actually owns Kia. Did you know that? Yeah, they actually own Kia. They're all under the same umbrella. And my tractor, my LS tractor, is made by the LG Corporation.
That's what your tractor needs. It needs an LS engine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But then I found out that LG, they make all the chassis and motors for 35 horsepower and 25 horsepower. They make all the chassis for those tractors, and then they ship them to like Massey Ferguson and Kubota and all these they were naming on that sheet I saw. They make all these chassis and motors for all these tractors, and all they do is when they get it, they paint it their color.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because you can look on the lot and you go, man, they all look the same, but different colors. What? But the motor and chassis are all made by the LG Corporation, and the companies in the States buy those. Now, I think Kubota is made by the Japanese or somebody somewhere over there. I said Kubota, but they're not. But they're made overseas too. So is like
I
David
got
Exxon's. His tractors are actually built in a foreign country in Asia, but they're assembled in the States. And that's how they get past a lot of the tariffs, is that they bring them to the States and they assemble them in the States. They come in as parts,
Yep.
and they don't pay as much tariff on the tractors because they have to be assembled in the States. Volkswagen does that. Mercedes-Benz does that here in the States. BMW, because it's a lot cheaper to get past the tariff than bringing in a whole vehicle. So the more you know. All right. Let's see. She says, I had to join the union in Arkansas with the right to work law. The union had my back on working while pregnant. The company did not care about me and my baby's health. And that's probably a positive thing. But if you look at the total cost of goods in the States, if we didn't have unions, yeah. Well, if we didn't have unions, more people would be taking their employer probably to court to win their rights rather than a union fighting for them.
You do know the unions in America were started by the mafia.
Yeah. Yeah. And you should see how those presidents of those unions, like the teachers union, she's making, buku dollars.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's as woke as they come. And that's what they're teaching our kids, and they're passing. That's why Congress right now is the American teachers, whatever that thing is. They're uncertifying them guys. They're going to vote on it to uncertify that teachers union and take away the federal certification for those teachers unions, because they're teaching our kids more woke than they are math, reading, and stuff like that, and science.
The millennials are destroying the planet.
Yeah. There's Charlene Grady. Hello, Charlene.
Yes, I've said hello to her.
Hey, and if you guys didn't see, because that Charlene, I seen her comment on Terri's lemon cheesecake recipe. If you go to our community tab, where they call it a post tab now, Terrie has put the recipe for her lemon cheesecake. It's low fat, it's all that stuff, but man, it is good, guys. So she put the recipe in there for that. So please check out that. I know she
Mike.
Leave her a comment once you've tried it.
Mike.
Yeah.
It's too late for people like us.
It's too late for us?
Yeah. Low fat cakes is too late for people like us. We're already fat.
Yeah. And that's what I told her. I said, you know what? I'm not like when I was young. I was in the gym every day. Okay. And if I was going to go out, I would work out and all that kind of stuff all the time. I did that every day for all those years in the military, ran PT every morning. And now I have this, I want to enjoy. I don't want my whole life centered around all that crap. Terrie looks at all the labels and reads everything. Me, I don't care no more. I'm enjoying my life because I'm up over the, I'm on the down slope of that mountain. And
you're on the down slope. I'm halfway down. I'm already halfway down the slope.
Terrie says I'm not allowed to die, so she goes, Terrie's on this kick. I have to be on it because I hate to cook. Now, if I'm on the road, like yesterday, I was in Broken Arrow. Oklahoma, and that's up there around where Annie Ann lives. and I had to go to the pain center for my back. Well, I go to the pain center, and the VA is paying for this. And what they're going to do to me kind of scares me. But in the same time, I'm tired of all the pain. I'm tired of taking all this medication, pain medication, all that stuff. I'm sick of it. My stomach is in knots. And what they're going to do on my spine is first of all, he goes, before we do it, we're going to give you a 1% Xanax pill. And we want you to take that. And in 30 minutes after you take it, what we'll do is we'll lay you down on this table. And then we're going to take these big gauge needles and we're going to stick them into your back down to your spine. And on the end of these things, they have in this, because it's hollow, they have this fiber optic camera that goes in there, and he can see it, and it magnifies your spine, and he can find the nerve endings that come out of your spine.
Yeah.
And he goes, we're going to get down there, and you're going to know, because you're going to say, oh, I felt that. And he goes, and then we'll zero in on that. We'll pull the camera out. We'll put this wire down in there, and we will burn the ends of your nerves. And we'll do that all the way down from your L5 all the way down to your S1. And then you will have 6 to 8 months of relief of no pain whatsoever. Remember, that nerves grow back. So in 8 months, and the VA pays for this to be done, you can have the procedure twice a year. So every 6 months, I go in there, they do the same thing, and the pain in my back will be gone. My only worry is pain triggers your response to be careful. You know what I mean? Where if you don't feel no pain and you're doing something wrong, you could injure your spine, because in your spine on your disc, you have these little cushion pads in between each. I don't have that no more. It's called the degenerative joint
disorder.
Yeah. And that's gone. And what happens is, and it's building up now, is bone starts growing and it tries to encase your, hey, look at that, tries to encase your spine to give your back support. And I've already had one surgery. It took like 8 hours in Colorado Springs. They had to go in there and get rid of all that bone and then make sure that my sciatic nerve was channeled through the little hole that's in your spine and stuff like that. So they're going to do that. And they said that will give me relief on my back, and I don't have to take all the pain medication that they're giving me. And then they have a new
I hope it worked for you, Mike.
They have a new procedure because down in my legs, because I'm a diabetic, I have a thing called neuropathy. And if you never had it, it's like when you're sleeping at night, it's like someone's taking something and shocking your feet and stuff like that. And it drives you crazy and it's hard to go to sleep. Well, they have this
pins and needles.
Yeah, permanent. And then they have this new thing that they do. And
you sure we're not twins?
We are twins. We're different. We're twin brothers of different mothers. So that means we got the same daddy.
That's possible. My dad was over there for a while.
They came out with these patches now that they put on your legs, your feet and your legs. And at first you'll feel that like a burning sensation, but I have a burning sensation all the time anyway. Like he said, the pain doctor. And then they leave it on for several hours or whatever. And then it soaks into your skin and it numbs the nerve endings within, because the nerve endings are those ones that are surface nerves. And because you're diabetic, a certain thing happens to your nerves and they get coated, and it's like a violent reaction, and it's just a human nature type thing because you're diabetic, stuff like that.
I'm the better looking one, Mac.
So we're gonna try this. The VA's paying for it, and so we're gonna try it and see if it works. Hey, Rice Lewis, good to see you.
I had that, and it's within 6 hours of the operation, my back was back to worse.
You too, Tamara. Come on. You have a great day. There's Jolly Huggers. Welcome in.
Yes, I've had an implant put in my
My
spine.
Buick was made on a BMW line in Germany and assembled in the States. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
And when they checked out my spine, I had L3 was half gone, L4 was completely missing, L5 was half gone. So they put a temporary porcelain plate in my spine back in 2011 to keep me mobile.
Y'all look like brothers.
Yeah, I'm the better looking one though.
Yeah.
And then I had my midsection shaved. They actually shaved the vertebrae.
Yeah.
They told me it'll only ever get worse. It'll never get better. Yeah, Tramadol works.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Wendy.
Linda, I take 6 to 8 a day.
Yeah.
If you got a tingling,
I didn't know being this old causes so much pain, but it does.
The only reason I'm getting older is because of my daughter.
No, the VA does allow you to use marijuana for pain. They don't prescribe it for you, but as a veteran, the VA came out with a policy that most states have medical marijuana. A lot of states do. And a lot of states are becoming recreational states also. So the VA put out a directive that veterans can use marijuana, but what they're asking you to do is to tell your healthcare provider that, hey, I use marijuana for whatever reason. You don't even have to tell them that. You just got to tell them that you use it. That way, when they're prescribing something for you, that they have that in their toolbox to say, because what they'll do is they'll put it in your profile that you're using it. So when they prescribe something, they have a database that says, hey, if you prescribe this, it's going to react with this other medication over here, and it won't allow you to prescribe that one, but it'll give you a list of things that you could use that won't have a reaction with another medication, and marijuana being the same thing. That's the only reason. They don't cut your benefits. They don't kick you out of the program. They don't stop treating you. They just need it for the medical side when prescribing other medications for you. So they won't give you, say, here, go get some medical grade marijuana and you're good to go at the VA, but they won't stop you from using it. And that was put out by the Secretary of the VA. And of course, he can't put that out unless Congress signs off on it, and they let him put that in the database. And it's a good thing, because you don't want to be self-prescribing something over here. The doctor doesn't know about it, or the database doesn't know about it, and all of a sudden they give you something, and then you have a reaction. And then, of course, you just blame the VA, but you didn't disclose what you're taking on the side. So that's
over
that.
here. Over here, if you're prescribed medical marijuana, you've got to hand in your driving license.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. There you go. Growing old ain't for sissies. Yeah, every day's an adventure. You're right. I think Lacey and me are about the same age, and I'm going to tell you something.
No, she's not as old as you.
I think she may be a year younger, but we're in the same category. And yeah, getting old sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm the same age as you.
Yeah, but getting old sucks. I don't like it.
If I realized it was going to be this painful when I was a kid, I don't think I would have lasted.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, Courtney's here. I'm gonna spend a little time with her before she has to take off. So, Paul, I want to thank you for coming in. We started out with vacations, then we moved over to cars and trucks, and then we came back to old people
Falling apart.
pain, treatments, and getting old sucks. Okay. So we almost did the whole gamut. We didn't talk about religion or politics, and that could be a good thing, right? So anyway, guys, I want to thank
Get me started on them, you better duck.
I want to thank my co-host Paul for coming in here. Remember, we are going tomorrow to Pryor, Oklahoma, to visit with AK Bill from My Alaska. He's flying into Oklahoma. We're going to have dinner at JL's Barbecue. And the only people I know that's coming is AK Bill, us, Tony and Angie from Our Cabin in the Woods, and
She's away.
And the Gillums.
She's escaping.
They're loading her car. She's taking eggs with her. Terry picked up 3 bottles of wine. Brittany's favorite wine from the winery here. It's like a pineapple.
What is it with women and wine?
It's a pineapple, like jalapeno and wine, and it's really, really good. I don't like wines, but that is a good wine. So she's doing that, and she's going to visit a friend and spend the weekend with them, and then she'll stop by here on the way out, going back to Waco.
Did you see that?
What?
Lacey's older than both of us.
Is she really?
64 and proud of it.
I'm 64. I'll be 65 in January.
I'm only 60.
So you're just a youngster.
So you're my big brother.
Mom and Dad had you later in life.
That must have been when Dad got back from the States.
Yeah, being naked on the beach. Yeah, I can't do that no more. They'd probably call, some company to come get the beached whale off the beach.
That's what happened last time I went to the beach. I went to sleep and they all thought I was dead.
And you have a great weekend too, Lacey. So anyway, guys, hey, remember, be kind to one another. Help somebody in need. And always think of that. Paul, thank you for coming in. As always, we will see you on Monday. Monday from Weird Talks with Mike. And who knows what we'll talk about then, And guys, it's okay if you come up on panel with Paul and I. It's okay. Don't be a
I
scared.
started doing this because nobody would come up.
That's right. Now he's hooked.
No, I just don't like you being on your own.
He goes, now I know I got something to do on Mondays and Fridays.
Oh, my
So
daughter
anyway,
thinks it's hilarious.
we love you. God bless you. And we'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys. Say bye, everybody, Paul.
Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.
There's
Tell our
Pretty.
beautiful.
Bye, goodbye.
That's pretty.
That's pretty.